Hello my fellow book lovers, welcome back to my channel. I usually tend to ramble on, so I don't want to do that. I do want to get right into this video. If you couldn't tell by the title of the video, holiday book recommendations as well as my holiday TBR. Last year read so many holiday books, and I personally celebrate Christmas. I basically am just going to be recommending Christmas books to you guys. I'm going to be giving you 5 book recommendations as well as 5 books that I put on my holiday TBR. I feel like that's very doable for most people, considering I know that there's so many other books that people want to read. But if you want to get the holly jolly spirit and read some books that are holiday themed, I feel like these ones, at least for the ones that I've read, are the ones that I think are the best and that I absolutely loved and will be kicking and screaming and yelling into the void for the rest of my life about. So I guess let's get started. Okay, so the first book I have actually is part of a series, and I'm really glad that I read this last year because now the rest of the series isn't holiday related. This book just started off the series as part of the holiday, and each book in the series though is related to a certain season. So this is very exciting. The first book is Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. Absolutely fell in love with this book. Literally first book I read last year that was a holiday book, and it set me up good because I had such low expectations. I was like, oh, it's just gonna be a random holiday romance, but I really want to read a Christmas book this year, so let me pick up this one since I know a lot of people talk about it. Absolutely fell in love. It was amazing. Basically, this is a friends to lovers. Stella is the main female character in this book, and she owns a Christmas tree farm. Now, she's trying to save this Christmas tree farm. It's running out of money, and it's not as magical as she remembered it from when she was a child, just because of how run down it got. So she's trying to save this Christmas tree farm that she bought, literally her pride and joy. So what she does is that she enters into this competition. She could earn $100,000, and the person putting on this competition is an influencer, and basically on the application she lied about having a boyfriend. So her and her best friend Luca have to fake date to pretend that they as a couple run this Christmas tree farm because it's meant to be this romantic holiday getaway place that she's trying to advertise for on this influencer's Instagram. I hope that was a good explanation. That's the good explanation from what I remember of this book and what I just read off the back of it. It's a very cute friends to lovers book. The only thing that I know got me so annoyed, which I know would probably annoy other people, but also makes sense for plot of the book, is that it's was so obvious that they were in love with each other. So obvious. Everybody else around them also knew. And the fact that they didn't know was just so absurd to me. I was like, what do you mean? If that's something that you can get over and that you can just look past, I highly recommend this video. I highly recommend this book in particular because it is such a great start to a series. And honestly, this was the first book that I read by her, and actually the only book. I meant to read the other books in this series this year because I have them here on my bookshelves. I just never got to it. But every book takes place in a specific season, and this is the first one, and obviously takes place in winter. The next 4 books actually that I have, I all read on Kindle Unlimited. For anyone who doesn't want to go out and buy holiday books, all of these are still on Kindle Unlimited for you to read, which I love. Okay, we all love free books. That's how I read basically all of my holiday romances last year, them all being on Kindle Unlimited, because who doesn't love that? You know what I mean? So this next book I'm going to recommend, I think this was the first book I read besides Love Light Farms last year, first holiday book that I read, and that is called I'm so excited. And this one is called Season's Schemings. And this was the first hockey romance book I ever read. And that is what kickstarted my love for hockey romances and also me being obsessed with hockey. You have author Katie Bailey to thank for that. I also have Katie Bailey to thank for that because I absolutely love her. She is an indie author, writes such amazing romances. I don't even know how to describe how blown away I was by this author. The fact that she's not a traditionally published author is very surprising. She writes closed door romances. If I were to compare her to a traditionally published author, I would definitely compare her to Sarah Adams. Writes really just fun, quirky, silly, goofy romances that really get you kicking and screaming. Okay, they really make you kick and scream, because let me tell you, I read 2 books by this author so far. Both of them had me kicking and screaming. So Season Schemings follows Sebastian and Maddie. Sebastian is a professional hockey player and Maddie is actually a cook for the team. She is also like kind of like this little micro influencer. She loves to cook and make like healthy snacks and stuff like that. She does that for the team and that's how they end up meeting, obviously. Maddie's ex-boyfriend ends up dumping her on a national television, which is terrible, 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 terrible. And that's how she ends up with this job. She applies for this job because she can no longer work for him. I think they owned a restaurant together or a bakery together. I don't remember. Owned a bakery together. She can no longer work for him. So that's how she ended up getting this job. I'm surprised that this man on the hockey team thinks that she's really cute. And to knock it all off, the topper on the cake is that this player is her ex's favorite player on the hockey team. Maddie and Sebastian become friends and they have this drunken night in Vegas where they get married. He is like willing for a bargain to like be like, oh no, like you can take me home for the holidays to rub it in your ex's face is if you do this one thing for me. And I won't say what that one thing is because it's not on the description of the book, so I don't want to like spoil that. Basically, it's a really fun fake dating holiday romance. Make her ex jealous and like accidentally fall in love. I'm really embarrassing myself right now. But anyways, I absolutely love this book. It was so good. It was so fun. I don't have anything else to say about it, okay? This is like what kickstarted my love for hockey romances. And to top it all off, the main characters look like me and my own husband. So I was just like, this is even better. This is even better. Let me move on to my next book. Okay, so the next book I have is Baggage Claim by Juliana Smith. Juliana Smith, another amazing indie author. She also writes closed door romances. This one ends up following Olive and Finn. Olive lives in Florida and I think she's going back home to Colorado for the holidays for the first time in like years, right? And then so she's super nervous about it. Guess who she's sitting next to on the plane? Oh, this mysterious guy who thinks she's really, really cute, who happens to also be going home for the holidays. So they end up talking on the plane and she's just like telling him about all the stuff that's going on, right? And he offers to be her fake boyfriend for her family because she told her family that she was coming home with a man's. Plot twist, she was not coming home with a man's. He offers to be her fake boyfriend and she's like, no. Obviously we know how that goes. He's obviously gonna be her fake boyfriend. Basically that is like the gist of like what happens. But she's really nervous to go back home because of this really horrible thing that happened to her a few years ago back home around the holidays. She hasn't been home since. So yeah, this one again was another really fun holiday romance. Takes place at a ski resort. He is a ski instructor at this place, or maybe he was just like going back home in general. Maybe he wasn't going home for the holidays, but he is a ski instructor and he offers to like take her whole family skiing and stuff like that. So a really fun time. They're really cute together. Finn, loved Finn. He was amazing. Yeah, but again, like I said, another really fun holiday romance that like super short but gets you into the holiday mood. And like if you love like a fake dating, I love me a fake dating. Okay, so if you love fake dating, this is a great one too, especially if you love skiing or if you love like that like resort like atmosphere. Super cute, super short, fun read just to like have it as a palate cleanser maybe through the holiday season. Whatever you want to do, I just highly recommend it. I think it's such a great fun book. The next book I have, this is again another indie author that I absolutely fell in love with and have read multiple books by them by this point already, and that is a book called Matching All the Way by Veronica Eden. Again, was obsessed with this book. I don't want to say that this book is particularly just a holiday book. This one like takes place throughout the whole year, but obviously like the main parts of the book take place around like holiday seasons. So like I know a big portion of it was like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then like New Year's Eve. The book follows Cole and Eve. Cole is the assistant coach and Eve's dad happens to be the actual coach of this college hockey team. Basically it's like, oh, coach's daughter's off limits. Basically, this is again another brother's best friend, secret dating. I don't want to call it forbidden romance because I do not really classify like your boss's daughter being like forbidden, but in some ways it's more of like forbidden romance because, you know, like he was kind of told to stay away from her. Match on a dating app, and it's his brother's best friend. He's the new assistant to the coach. I don't know what else to say about it other than the fact that literally everything I told you is basically everything that's in here. I just summed it up a different way. But she's had a crush on him for a really really long time too, as well. So that's another thing. So she has a crush on him for a long time and he has a crush on her. Fun, fun, fun. Love this one. This one's super, super spicy. So if you don't like spicy romances, definitely maybe not this one. But this one's actually part of a series, but it can be read as a standalone. It's a weird kind of series the way that it falls in because it is attached to a series, but I don't think it's a part of that series technically. But I personally would put it a part of that series because she has a series called The Heston U Hot Shots, and those are all hockey romances. The first book in that series is out. There's a prequel to that series that's out. Second book technically in the series is coming out. But if you wanted to read that series, I highly recommend. They're all hockey romances. They're all super fun. I would definitely read it in the order of the Heston U Hot Shots prequel, this book matching all of the way, and then going into the first book of the Heston U Hot Shots. I just think it introduces the characters in a nice way, in a nice order to kind of get you like prepared for what's going on, and like timeline wise it makes sense. So next up and last up on the book recommendations portion of this video is Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh. This was another book that I was actually really surprised about. I saw a few people last year talking about this book, so I ended up giving it a shot and I ended up really, really liking it. This one I would definitely say it's definitely more like traditional holiday romance, but also not, if that makes sense. Whereas like the holiday aspect was just kind of like part of the book. It didn't have to be part, like the holidays didn't have to make it what it is. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like, okay, that's not at all making sense. Let me think of this a different way. The holidays was just an added bonus. If you took the holidays out, this still would have been a great book in general. This book follows Molly and Andrew. Molly and Andrew just so happen to meet at college in the US, but they are actually both from Ireland, and they were part of like the same friend group, or they met through a mutual friend, and they were literally just friends. And every single year for the past, I think 10 years, they always meet up prior to the holidays and fly home together. And basically this is like a now and then timeline. You're following the then timeline of like past years of when they flew home together and how they were friends, or like the missed opportunities of like right person, wrong time type of thing, as well as the present timeline of like her kind of feeling like she has feelings for him, but not necessarily knowing like what's gonna happen, and like this journey home. So like the present timeline, their journey home is a lot different than other years. So like other years, they've literally just flown straight from Chicago to Ireland. This year, they make a few pit stops along the way to make this holiday season something special. That's basically it. So they end up flying home together every year. They catch up along the way, and it's following that now and then timeline. Like I said, I really don't have much else to say about it because I summed up pretty much what the book is about. But either way, I really did like this book. This was definitely, like I said, more like of a traditional book where like if the holidays weren't in it, it would still make a great plot for a book. And I really, really loved the characters' dynamic and the story of like what they did in like the past and present timeline. One of those things where I genuinely enjoyed both timelines and thought they both made sense. Whereas like in other books when they have a past and present timeline, I don't always enjoy one or the other because it's kind of like, okay, they're being stupid in one. It like just doesn't make sense as to like how it's gonna lead to here, like things like that. I genuinely enjoyed the past and present timeline for both of these because I liked seeing the way that their friendship grew over time, because they just so happened to be always going home on the same plane ride prior to like actually being friends for the past 10 years. Highly recommend that book. I thought it was so fun. Catherine Walsh, I think, is a great writer, and I'm excited to read more of her books this year. I know she has other books and she has some more holiday books, but yeah, let's move on to books that I personally want to read this holiday season. So I actually have 3 sequels on this list. The first one is the sequel to Season Schemings, which is called Holiday Hostilities. This is a, I think, enemies to lovers romance. The main male character is on the same team as Sebastian, and I don't know how the girl fits in. I know like the 2 guys are part of the same hockey team. I don't know much about this book. I actually just received the ARC for it, so I'm so excited to finally start reading it. I'm gonna start reading it, I think, like this week or something. I'm super, super excited because I loved the first one, and I also loved one of Katie Bailey's other books, which is actually kind of technically attached to this series, but technically not. It's called The Quit List. It's Maddie's stepbrother who is the main male character in that book, but that one is not like a holiday book or anything like that. But yeah, she writes super fun closed door romances, so I'm very, very excited to read that one next. The second book, which is also a sequel that I'm really, really excited to read, is called Snowed Under, and this is the sequel to Baggage Claim. This happens to be Finn's best friend from the resort. So Cooper is the main male character in snowed under, and he is a ski instructor as well at the resort. So this one follows him and I think someone else who ends up coming to work at the resort. I'm not too sure, I don't remember exactly, but I didn't realize that Cooper was going to get his own book. I'm like pleasantly surprised because he wasn't really in the first one, but I'm excited to see like where she's going to take this character and what she's going to do with him, because who just doesn't love like a fun holiday romance? Clearly not me. And the next book I am excited to read, I actually just got it, is the Holiday Honeymoon Switch. This one is said to be like the Unhoneymooners meets the Holiday. The Holiday, they're talking about the Jack Black movie. I never saw it, so I don't know, but I think they're talking about that. But basically, these two best friends swap honeymoons. I'm not exactly sure. I don't read the back of books. I love going in blind. I'm not exactly sure, but I saw that it's like these best friends switch honeymoons or switch places for something. Plus, the book takes place in the Hudson Valley, it says, for one of them, and I'm from the Hudson Valley, so I thought that would be fun. I want to see where like they say it is in the Hudson Valley, because obviously the Hudson Valley is very big. Anyways, yes, they switch places for the holidays. I'm excited. It's a short, fun read, it looks like. The next book I have as a book that I want to read this year is also, I think, I'm almost positive this is not like a sequel, but it's a part of the universe like the other two. I don't know why I'm saying sequel, but that is Snowed In by Catherine Walsh. Know nothing about this. I know that it's a fake dating romance. They end up getting stuck at the same place and they both have to pretend that they're dating. I think it's like with her family or something. I don't know exactly. Like I said, I love to go into books blind and just be surprised. Yeah, that is the next one. Like I said, I was super happy with Catherine Walsh last year, so I'm excited to read one of her books again this year. The last book I have on a book I want to read this year, and this is a book by Megan Quinn. I've seen this book all over the place, so I figured, okay, maybe I should read it, and that is How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. I've only read one book by Megan Quinn so far. I mean, I liked it, but like it's kind of was like, I don't know how I felt about it. Like it was very, very smutty. Like once the book became smut, that's all it was. Like there was no plot. Like the plot kind of like fell off for what it was. So I'm kind of hoping that that doesn't happen in this book. But I decided, since I've been seeing it literally everywhere, I decided to give it a shot. Like I said, don't know what it's about. I never know what any of these books are about when I'm going into them. I've just seen a lot of people post about it, talk about it, and that's about it. So that is it for the books that I'm recommending, as well as books that I want to read this holiday season. Please let me know if you've read any of these books or if you want to read any of these books. I'd love to talk about them. I think it'd be super fun. Like I said, let me know. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social medias. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys next time. Bye.